अच्छी सूचना थी कि मतलब जो है हम उनको देखकर बड़ा खुश हुए कि वहाँ ठीक ठाक है, सब कुछ है, अच्छी तरह है.
And of course, a billion hearts across India and around the world are counting down a few anxious hours as Group Captain Shubhanchu Shukla prepares to return home today with his AX4 crewmates, marking the end of a remarkable 15-day mission in space. Upon his return to back on Earth, Group Captain Shukla will undergo a 7-day rehabilitation program during which his health parameters will be closely monitored. Here's a report on the final leg of his journey.
From countdown to splashdown, India's space hero Shubhanchu Shukla is set to return to the Earth. This 18-day journey with 4 astronauts and many experiments is finally coming to an end. As per NASA, the Dragon spacecraft will not just return with 4 astronauts, but will also carry data from over 60 experiments conducted throughout this mission. As the SpaceX Dragon capsule prepares for re-entry into the orbit of Earth, Shubhanshu and his crewmates will face intense physical and environmental challenges. Strapped into the seats, they'll experience high G-forces as the capsule plunges through Earth's atmosphere at speeds exceeding 27,000 km per hour. The re-entry process for Axiom 4 is meticulously orchestrated sequence. The Dragon capsule will undock from the ISS's Harmony module and perform a deorbit burn to slow its speed, allowing Earth's gravity to pull it back. As it re-enters the atmosphere, friction will create a plasma sheath. The spacecraft's heat shield will endure temperatures upwards of 2700 degrees, protecting the crew from the fiery descent and even temporarily cutting off communication with ground control. But the journey doesn't end with splashdown. After landing, the astronauts will undergo a crucial 7-day rehabilitation process. Astronauts face muscle atrophy, bone density loss after extended missions in space. Rehabilitation ensures that they regain their strength, balance, and mobility. It's a step-by-step process, and it begins with light physical therapy, aimed at easing the astronauts back into Earth's gravity. They'll focus on regaining muscle tone and flexibility. The future of space exploration has only just begun, and Shubhanshu Shukla's story is a beacon of hope for all who dare to dream.
From the world of space, let's now tell you what's happening in the world of politics. In a shocking incident, RJD leader and Bihar's leader of opposition, Tejashwi Yadav, abused journalists during a press briefing in Patna. Running down the 4th pillar of democracy, Tejashwi hurled the slur "mutra" to describe journalists. Take a look at this detailed report on what he said and how his statement has snowballed into a huge political storm.
Bihar leader of the opposition Tejashwi Yadav talked himself into a controversy after he directed a filthy bar by journalists during a press briefing in Patna. Running down the 4th pillar of democracy, Tejashwi hurled the slur "mutra" to describe journalists.
एक मिनट इसका चुनाव आयोग से कोई डॉक्यूमेंट या कोई प्रेस नोट या कोई ऐसी बात आई है या कि कहाँ से खबर आई? सोर्सेज बता रहे हैं, सूत्र बताते हैं, हम उस सूत्र को मूत्र समझते हैं। वेस्ट जो होता है ना, ये वो है, इसका कोई आधार नहीं ना। ये वही सूत्र है जो पाकिस्तान में कब्जा करवा दिया था, इस्लामाबाद, कराची। सूत्र नहीं, मूत्र लोग हैं।
The former Bihar Deputy Chief Minister stoked a massive row, saying sutra or source is mutra, as he sought to question the moral spine and integrity of journalists.
Make no mistake, this is clearly an attack on press and its dignity. Remember, we constitute the 4th estate and the 4th pillar of democracy, and for this kind of contempt and this kind of mindset, Tejashwi Yadav has revealed really from where he comes, and the manner in which he was speaking, the body language, the expressions that clearly showed that he has utter contempt for media, he has absolute disrespect for the institution of press. Remember, sources are supposed to remain anonymous, and that's why, and that's how journalism flourishes. That's how we practice our craft, because otherwise everything else becomes PR and publicity. In this case, while Election Commission officially has not come out with a statement yet, because remember, the matter is sub judice.
Not stopping at this, the RJD leader also cast aspersions on the neutrality of the Election Commission, alleging that it was functioning as a cell of a particular political party. The EC officials, meanwhile, claimed that foreign nationals from Nepal, Bangladesh and Myanmar were found during the house-to-house visits for the ongoing role revision exercise ahead of the Bihar Assembly elections. Tejashwi, however, dismissed the poll panel's claims. Responding to Tejashwi's crass comment on media professionals, BJP leader Sanjay Jaiswal demanded that the former issue a public apology.
तेजस्वी जी के साथ सबसे बड़ा प्रॉब्लम यही है, 20 मिनट तक वह कागज़ पढ़ते रहे और तब तक वो ठीक थे, लेकिन पत्रकारों ने सवाल पूछा तो जिस प्रकार का उन्होंने पहले तो सूत्र के बारे में बोला और उसके बाद कह दिया कि प्रेस भी यही है। मीडिया कर्मियों के सामने और किसी के भी मनुष्य के बारे में इस तरह की टिप्पणियां करना केवल तेजस्वी यादव कर सकते हैं। तेजस्वी जी की दिक्कत यही है कि पढ़े लिखे नहीं होने के कारण जो घर पे 2-3 उनके लोग हैं वो जो रटवाते हैं, बताते हैं, वह जाके वह मंच पर बोल देते हैं, कहीं भी बोल देते हैं। उससे बाहर का अगर कोई प्रश्न आएगा आउट ऑफ सिलेबस तो वो ऐसा ही कचरा करेंगे। यह प्रेस का अपमान है।
Tejashwi's distasteful remark has raised a larger question on whether the opposition in Bihar has resorted to shooting the messenger amid the EC's ongoing purge of bogus voters.
Let's also have now a quick check of the other stories that we're tracking nationally. This is Bharat in 1 minute. A pickup truck was swept away by rising floodwaters in Madhya Pradesh's Chhatarpur before crashing onto a culvert at Panchri Ghat. The culvert caved in and broke due to the overflowing Dashan River after heavy rainfall in the Chhatarpur district. Visuals on your screen show how a pickup vehicle lying overturned after crashing onto the culvert.
लगातार बारिश का दौर जारी है। इसी क्रम में कल रात करीब 12 बजे हमको एक सूचना मिली थी कि पचेर घाट जो कि टीकमगढ़ और छतरपुर का बॉर्डर है, यहाँ पर एक पिकअप वाहन नदी में बह जाने की सूचना मिली थी। हम लोग तत्काल मौके पर पहुँचे थे। थाना ईशानगर की टीम और एसडीआरएफ की टीम द्वारा तत्काल रेस्क्यू ऑपरेशन शुरू किया गया, जिसमें पिकअप में सवार 2 लोगों को रात्रि में ही सुरक्षित बचा लिया गया था। एक व्यक्ति पिकअप के नीचे दब जाने से उसकी दुखद मृत्यु हो गई है और वर्तमान में भी लगातार पानी का दौर जारी है। बरसात लगातार हो रही है।
Chhattisgarh Chief Minister Vishnu Deo Sai chaired a key meeting of the BJP MLAs as well as party leaders at his Raipur residence. Visuals show that the BJP MLAs and leaders arriving for the meeting on Sunday evening. However, the lawmakers and leaders were tight-lipped when asked about what happened inside the meeting. BJP MP Yogendra Chandolia came out in support of the Election Commission's special intensive revision of the electoral rolls in poll-bound Bihar. He said there's every chance that the ongoing special roll revision in Bihar would be replicated in other states that have been plagued by illegal immigration from Myanmar and Bangladesh. Batting for the revision of electoral rolls, the lawmakers said that the names of all bogus and illegal voters should be deleted from the rolls and they should be sent back to where they belong.
देखिए, जब से बिहार में चुनाव आयोग ने काम शुरू किया है, अभी और भी राज्यों में काम करेगा। चुनाव आयोग एक इंडिपेंडेंट बॉडी है और उसको अधिकार है। अगर नेपाली, म्यांमार के लोग और बांग्लादेशी लोग अगर हमारे मतदाता होंगे तो हमारे जो स्थानीय लोग हैं, स्थानीय निवासी हैं, वोट का राइट उनको होना, उनको राइट क्यों है और ये वोट क्यों बने? और ये सारे वोट डिलीट होने चाहिए और केवल वोट डिलीट नहीं होने चाहिए, इन लोगों को भी जहां जहां के ये नागरिक हैं वहां तक पहुंचाने का काम करना चाहिए सरकार को।
Former Bihar Minister Tejashwi Yadav tore into the Nitish Kumar government over the state of law and order after a leader of the ruling BJP was shot dead by unidentified assailants. The killing of the BJP leader Surendra Kewat came close on the heels of the murder of influential businessman Gopal Khemka. Targeting the Chief Minister, Tejashwi claimed Nitish was incapable of running the state as criminals were on a free run across the state and committing crimes with impunity on his watch. He claimed that the ruling NDA will be defeated in the upcoming assembly elections.
देखिए, बिहार का जो कानून व्यवस्था पूरे तरीके से चरमराया हुआ है। यहाँ तक कि जो नीतीश कुमार जी है पूरे तरीके से शिथिल पड़ चुके हैं, कोमा में जा चुके हैं, उनसे सरकार चल नहीं रही है, जिसका कारण है कि पूरे तरीके से जो अपराधी है खुलेआम बिहार में, पटना में खुलेआम तांडव मचा रहे हैं और सरकार और प्रशासन के लोग पूरे तरीके से लिप्त हैं। सरकार बेलगाम हो चुका है, सरकार बहुत जल्दी गिरने वाला है चुनाव के बाद।
Religious leader and preacher Swami Chidanand Saraswati praised the Uttarakhand government for launching Operation Kalanimi. The operation, launched at the behest of Chief Minister Pushkar Singh Dhami, is aimed at identifying and cracking down on frauds who exploit people's faith by false claiming themselves to be religious figures. The president and the spiritual head of Parmanath Niketan Ashram thanked the Dhami government, saying that the operation isn't aimed at targeting preachers but those cheating and looting followers in the name of faith.
इसका अभिनंदन करना चाहिए और इसे आगे बढ़ाया जाना चाहिए। और फिर वे युवा हैं, कर्मठ हैं, कर्मयोगी हैं, उत्साही हैं। आज भी मैंने उनके जोश को देखा। उनका ये किसी खिलाफ नहीं है, ये सबको साथ लेकर चलने की यात्रा और सबके लिए है ये, ताकि कोई ठगा ना जाए, ताकि कोई किसी को मूर्ख ना बना सके। और समाज में देखा नहीं अभी छांगुर बाबा और पता नहीं क्या क्या चीज़ें आ रही हैं, तो निश्चित रूप में ऐसी चीज़ें बाहर आनी चाहिए और फिर सच को डरना क्या।
And it's time for us to now slip into a short break, but after the break we'll get you the huge controversy that has erupted over the Air India crash probe details, with the pilots regrouping Alpha India Muzz legal course to be part of Air India plane crash probe. Also coming up after the break is the shocking case from the national capital, where a girl from Tripura who is a Delhi University student has been found dead in the Yamuna River.
Amity has been ranked India's #1 not-for-profit private university for 11th year, with top 10 ranked institutions in management, engineering, biotech, law, masscom, telecom, hospitality, fashion and more. Yet another top ranking for Amity University.
अब छोलिया हो या लोबिया, सफेद चने या काले चने,
सब कुछ मजेदार बने।
MDH की देगी मीरज,
देगी मिरज का तड़का, अंग अंग फड़का।
MDH की देगी मीरज।
महाराष्ट्राची माफी मागतो, मी छत्रपती शिवाजी महाराजांची माफी मागतो, महाराजांची माफी मागतो, बाळासाहेबांची माफी मागतो, बाळासाहेबांची माफी मागतो, उद्धव साहेबांची माफी मागतो, साहेबांची माफी मागतो, राज साहेबांची माफी मागतो।
Jet bound for Netherlands crashes moments after takeoff from the South End airport. Visuals on your screen show how it turns into a huge fireball. Pilots grouping ALPA India Muzz legal course to be part of Air India plane crash probe.
आज का भारत स्पेस से महत्वाकांक्षी दिखता है। आज का भारत निडर दिखता है। आज का भारत कॉन्फिडेंट दिखता है, आज का भारत गर्व से पूर्ण दिखता है और इन्हीं सब कारणों की वजह से मैं एक बार फिर से कह सकता हूँ कि आज का भारत अभी भी सारे जहाँ से अच्छा दिखता है।
India is still सारे जहां से अच्छा. That is what Shubhanchu Shukla had to say in his final message from space.
एक मिनट इसका चुनाव आयोग से कोई डॉक्यूमेंट या कोई प्रेस नोट या कोई ऐसी बात आई है या कि कहाँ से खबर आई? सोर्सेज बता रहे हैं, सूत्र बताते हैं, हम उस सूत्र को मूत्र समझते हैं। वेस्ट जो होता है ना, ये वो है।
Brazen display of abuse of power. Lalu Yadav's son insults journalism and media during a press conference. Tripura girl missing in Delhi for 6 days, now found dead under city flyover in the Yamuna River. Ahead of Jaishankar's visit, Beijing says Tibet issue a thorn in India-China ties, claims deal, Dalai Lama issue an internal matter. Thank you for staying with Republic. We start this edition with the top focus story, which is about the External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar's visit to China. And remember, this comes after 5 long years. And in the same, we've got fresh pictures of the External Affairs Minister who is meeting the Chinese Vice President Han Zheng ahead of the SCO Foreign Ministers meeting. That's the crucial meeting that has already begun early morning today. All eyes are now on what will actually be discussed as far as the India-China ties are concerned. Remember, China hitting its foot with the axe has already said that the Tibet issues remain a thorn in the India-China ties and that it needed to be solved, and that the Dalai Lama issue is an internal matter, and thereby reiterating what they have already said in the past. However, India and Tibet have made their position amply clear, saying that the succession of Dalai Lama will be decided by the Dalai Lama's office himself. In fact, Senior Executive Editor Abhishek Kapoor is joining us on the phone line on that. Abhishek, early morning visuals of Jaishankar meeting the Chinese VP in Beijing. What are we looking forward to as far as the meet is concerned?
Well, you see, there has been a bit of a provocation just yesterday with a spokesperson of the Chinese embassy in New Delhi calling the Dalai Lama issue or the Tibet issue as a thorn in India-China relationship. But there are many thorns in India-China relationship at this juncture, Pakistan being another one, China's double standards on terrorism, another one, and Chinese manipulation of trade relations, another one. So I think there are a lot of issues that both sides have on the table to discuss. And remember, this is the first visit of S. Jaishankar to China post-Galwan, which is like it is happening after 5 years. This is the first visit of Jaishankar to China after the Operation Sindoor, where India has made it amply clear that the Chinese were fully involved on the side of Pakistanis, like live helping them, in real time helping them. And this is also the first visit of Jaishankar after the 90th birthday of Dalai Lama, His Holiness the Dalai Lama, which happened just about a week back, and that ruffled some Chinese feathers. So I think it's significant that this meeting is finally happening in the SCO or on the in that platform. The Chinese have really been in a tango with Pakistan, and because of which a joint statement was not possible last month when Defense Minister Rajnath Singh had gone to participate in the Defense Ministers meeting. Like this is the Foreign Ministers meeting in which External Affairs Minister has gone to participate in. So I think there are a lot of bilateral issues which would be on the table, and this meeting is taking place with the Vice President now, of course, and then there would be a meeting with the foreign minister on the sidelines of the SCO foreign ministers meeting, which is in Tianjin. This meeting, of course, happening in Beijing.
Right, absolutely, Abhishek. In fact, the statement that they have just issued, the Chinese embassy in the national capital, saying that the only thorn in India-China relation remains to be that of the Tibet issue, thereby saying that the succession of Dalai Lama stays an internal matter. And do you think by saying that, yet again, they have actually gone ahead to hit the axe on their foot?
Well, Tanisha, so obviously the kind of statement that's come in and the kind of straight-jacketed, tightly controlled system that's there in China and the communist state, what the spokesperson here has said is clearly a reflection of what Beijing is thinking on the issue of Tibet and the connection with Dalai Lama, who's been India's guest for the last 6 decades and more. Official Indian position has not evolved. It's just that since Dalai Lama has hit 90 years of age, and he had said that when he turns 90, he would make an announcement on his reincarnation, which he has done, and made it clear that his successor would be someone from outside China, born in free world and not in Chinese control. That's between the Tibetan community and the Chinese to thrash out. Since the Dalai Lama has been our guest for these decades, we cannot throw him out. And he's a spiritual leader of the community. If the Chinese are not able to handle that, it's Chinese problem. So for them to be making that now an issue between India and China, despite the fact that India's official position on Tibet has not evolved. The last time it evolved was in during 1999-2000 period, when India said, okay, fine, Tibet autonomous region is part of China. And since then, officially, our position has not evolved. So there is nothing that Chinese should be complaining or could be complaining. But then they did, because obviously they have a situation to handle, which is that their collusion and complete cohabitation with Pakistan during Operation Sindoor, their real-time support to Pakistan during Operation Sindoor is an issue on the table. So maybe they want to just turn around the dialogue, or maybe have one more lever to talk about. But obviously that's a non-starter, given the kind of double standards China has maintained. Also, most importantly, despite the understandings reached between the two leaders, Prime Minister Modi and President Xi Jinping, in Kazan on the sidelines of the BRICS summit last year, we are seeing the Chinese continuing to manipulate on the trade aspect of the relationship also. They have been throttling the supply of fertilizers, particularly the DAP or the phosphatic supplies in the last 5-6 months. They have recently withdrawn their engineers from the Foxconn facility in Chennai, about 300 of them who were helping in the Apple manufacturing. So obviously that kind of manipulation, be it the supplies of rare earths, which China has done with the rest of the world also, or the phosphatic supplies, fertilizer supplies, which China has done specifically to India, or the withdrawal of these engineers. Obviously China is looking at India as some kind of threat and trying to, throttle and constrain our economic growth. So those are issues that need to be discussed and should be discussed, and perhaps would be discussed when External Affairs Minister is in Beijing and Tianjin over the next day and a half.
Absolutely, Abhishek. Thank you very much again for sharing all those updates. We quickly move across to the other breaking news that we are getting in. And ladies and gentlemen, this is about the Air India crash probe report, where there's a huge controversy that has erupted after the Pilots Association have said that they have to be included in the report. Now remember, the pilot body has mulled legal recourse to be a part of the investigation into Air India's Boeing 787 plane crash probe. This a day after alleging that AAIB's preliminary report suggests a bias towards pilot error. The Airline Pilots Association of India represents over 800 pilots of airlines and helicopter companies in country. It is a member of the International Federation of Airline Pilots Association, which claims to have 1 lakh pilots from across 100 countries as its member. Against the backdrop of the AAIB's preliminary report, representatives of the Alpha India will meet officials of the Directorate General of Civil Aviation to discuss the various issues today. So another crucial meeting that we are waiting to happen today. Here's a detailed report on all that you will have to look forward to as far as the Air India probe is concerned.
In a significant development, the top pilots body in the country has said it was mulling legal recourse to be made part of the ongoing probe into the Air India 787 Dreamliner crash in Ahmedabad. This after the Airport Accident Investigation Bureau hinted at fuel cutoff as the primary and most likely trigger for the Dreamliner crash. The preliminary probe report even pointed to a chilling cockpit conversation minutes before the crash, in which one of the pilots asked why the fuel was cut off. To this, the other pilot responded saying he did not flip the fuel switches. The findings in the probe report led to chatter of a pilot error behind the crash, which claimed the lives of all but one of the 242 passengers and crew on board. Piqued at the direction at which the ongoing probe was seemingly headed, the Airline Pilots Association of India said it was ready to double up efforts to be involved in the probe, even if it was as an observer. Republic has learned from top sources that ALPA India members would meet officials of the Directorate General of Civil Aviation today to discuss various issues. The pilots' body earlier expressed concern over the AAIB's preliminary report, alleging that it suggested a bias towards pilot error.
Now that this insinuation has come in, that maybe pilot intervention led to the fuel switch off, how do we become clear that yes, this happened? If not, then what happened?
Okay, the AIB report does not say that the pilot moved the switch to off and then to run.
Right.
It says it transitions to off and then to run after 10 seconds.
Right.
However, the message that has been conveyed to the larger foreign media is that this was a human deliberate attempt of switching off the engines.
Right.
Also, the FAA has issued a circular saying that there is nothing technically wrong. The AIB report, preliminary report, is only focusing on fuel switches.
Right.
Okay. Therefore, it has now become mandatory that we know in the exact conversation between the pilots and the ATC and its timestamp.
Right.
Because the same sequence of action would be a correct sequence of action if it is after the dual engine failure.
So you mean to say the exact conversation in those last moments should be released?
Exact conversation with time frame of the CVR with the channels that they record.
Right.
And it has got no analysis in it.
Right.
It is just a transcript. All the investigations, all the accidents, you get this.
Right.
And if we get it, there will be a lot of speculations that would be set aside, and we would have a clarity and a closure for many who are looking for a closure. They can't wait for 1 year.
Obviously.
And this is already available with them. So
Right.
it can be released. I hope the government requests the AIB to release this transcript of CVR. That's the right word for it.
Right.
And thereafter, a lot of things will be clear.
ALPA India represents over 800 pilots of airlines and helicopter companies in the country. It is a member of the International Federation of Airline Pilots Association, or IFALPA, which claims to have 1 lakh pilots from across 100 countries as its members. Meanwhile, in a guarded response to the preliminary crash report earlier, Civil Aviation Minister Ram Mohan Naidu warned against jumping to conclusions. As speculations around the crash probe report mount, is the AIB casting aspersions on the operational integrity of the pilots?
And we shift our focus to breaking news that's coming in, and this one is from the state of Karnataka, where it is Union Minister Prahlad Joshi that has given a big statement. Now the statement reads, and I quote, he said, with a Congress MLA claiming that the BJP was planning to topple the government in Karnataka and has prepared to target 55 legislators to central agencies, Union Minister Prahlad Joshi has hit back, alleging that horse trading was going on in the ruling party itself amid the chief minister change speculation. So as and when there are huge and massive speculation of how there could be a change in the chief ministerial post in Karnataka. The front runners, remember, is of course one and only the DK Shivakumar, the Deputy Chief Minister of Karnataka. Prahlad Joshi there, leaving no stone unturned to take a jibe at the Congress party, saying that in fact the horse trading is happening in their own party. In fact, even as there is a fierce power tussle in the state of Karnataka, we learn that Surjewala will today be meeting the KPCC leaders, and this comes as a crucial meeting that will be held today, and this will be done in the state of Karnataka itself, in Bengaluru to be specific. Senior Congress leader Randeep Surjewala to hold one-on-one meetings with ministers and Karnataka Congress MLAs today in Bengaluru. Complete firefighting mode there that has been given in by the Congress party, going all out to quell the anger that is there among the MLAs, some section of the MLAs, remember, who want DK Shivakumar to be the chief minister. Many statements have already been made in the past wherein it was an unhappy DK Shivakumar that had said that I had no other option but to remain the deputy chief minister. Meanwhile, Siddaramaiah time and again reiterating his statement, saying that he will remain chief minister for the next 5 years. All right, moving on to some other stories that we are getting, and this one again is from the state of Karnataka, but not from the world of politics. Now, it is about how a Swiggy delivery agent was thrashed in public, and this happened near the hospital junction in Bengaluru after he stopped at a red light when he refused to move despite the vehicle being behind him. The men got out and beat him up, leaving him injured and bleeding. The attackers fled, and the victim later filed a complaint at the police station. Police have now registered a case and are examining the CCTV footage to identify the culprits. So that's the latest breaking news that we have from the state of Karnataka. Again, this time it is a Swiggy delivery executive who was assaulted by 3 men near Modi Hospital Junction in Bengaluru. Now, it was done because he stopped at a red light when he refused to move despite pressure from the vehicle behind him. There were 3 men who got out of the car, thrashed him in such a way that he started bleeding. He was injured. He has registered a complaint so far at the police station. The police is probing the incident and examining the CCTV footage. On your screen are the punches and the brutal assault that the Swiggy delivery agent had to go through just because he refused to move forward even as the red light opened. And let's have a quick check of the other stories that we're tracking. This is Bharat in 1 minute.
Bharat 1 minute brought to you by Canara Bank. Together we can.
The Uttar Pradesh administration has deployed HD drones for surveillance along the Kanwad Yatra routes. The live feed from the drone cameras is being transmitted to the Integrated Command Control Center through Jatayu Van and is also accessible to the mobile phone officials. The Ministry of Railways has announced that the following of the successful trial installation of CCTV cameras in passenger coaches. It will now install CCTV cameras in all coaches. In its statement, the ministry stated that the move will significantly enhance passenger safety. Severe waterlogging has been reported in several parts of Dholpur, Rajasthan following heavy rainfall. Other regions of the state have also experienced rain, prompting alerts from the Indian Meteorological Department. An orange alert has been issued for heavy rainfall in Hadoti region, including Kota, Baran, Jalwar. A yellow alert, meanwhile, has been issued in 25 districts, including Jaipur, Sikar, Bharatpur, Ajmer, Pali and Udaipur. Amid the centre's push to the domestic automobile giants to go electric, a new report has predicted India's used car volume to grow 8 to 10% in the year 2025-2026. The expected surge in the used car volume is twice as fast as the new car sales. Now, the report stated that there would be a sharp increase in the range. Take a look at this detailed report for more information.
India is chasing ambitious climate goals. Polluting old cars off the streets is seen as a big step towards cutting emission and meeting climate goals. The centre has been pressing domestic automakers to roll out more non-polluting electric vehicles. However, a new report by ratings agency CRISIL has pointed to a trend that may not aid the country's fight against vehicular pollution. The report by CRISIL has claimed a surge of used cars in India by 8 to 10% in 2025-26. The report comes days after the Delhi government ordered a halt on its no-fuel rule for end-of-life cars in the national capital. The report says used car sales in the country is set to zoom to 6 million units this fiscal. The surge, according to the report, would be fueled by a value-conscious demand, rising digital adoption, and better access to finance. However, what may seem value for money for motorists may not bode well for the environment.
And moving on to the other stories that we're tracking, and this one is from the world of sports. World number 1 Italian Yannick Sinner avenged his defeat to Spanish rival Carlos Alcaraz in the final at the Roland Garros as he bested the defending men's champion in the summit clash at the Wimbledon on Sunday. Now, after dropping the opening set 4-6, the Italian came out firing on all cylinders to eventually lift his maiden Wimbledon men's title. Here's more.
Wimbledon crowned a new king on Sunday. Exorcising the ghosts from Roland Garros, world number 1 Italian Yannick Sinner lifted his maiden Wimbledon men's title, beating defending champion Carlos Alcaraz. The win came as sweet revenge for the French Open heartbreak, which saw the Italian blow away a 2-set lead over Alcaraz to eventually crash to a defeat in the title clash. Coming into the final with a straight sets win over 24-time Grand Slam champion Novak Djokovic, Sinner initially found the going tough against his familiar opponent. He dropped the opening set 4-6, raising fears of another loss to the Spaniard in a big final. However, the Italian found his bearings just on time and came out firing on all cylinders thereafter to take the next 3 sets of the Spaniard by an identical score before raising his fists in triumph. Speaking at the post-match press conference, Sinner said he overcame mental struggles and inner demons from previous losses to Alcaraz in big finals to eventually come out winner.
I'm very emotional, no, even if I don't cry, but it feels emotional because only me and the people who are close to me know exactly what we have been through on and off the court, and it has been everything except easy. We've tried to push, every practice session. Even I was struggling at times, mentally, maybe even more in practice sessions, because I feel like when I play the match, I can switch off and then just play, and I believe that this helped me a lot. And yeah, but to share this moment with my family here, my whole family here, it's the most amazing thing what could have happened to me, and in Paris was only my mom, and it was still just an amazing feeling, and here my dad and my brother and my mom too, and the whole team.
Defeated yet not humbled, Alcaraz said the rivalry with Sinner was here to stay.
Yo muy contento de estar en esta posición, de poder seguir jugando grandes finales, hacerlo con Yannick. Como he dicho, yo creo que estamos forjando y estamos creando una rivalidad muy bonita para el tenis, para mí también, lo cual es una de las grandes razones por las que me hace mejorar, pero al final todo el mundo creo que tiene a Yannick como ejemplo, como jugador a batir, y yo creo que
With the rivals all square after the contrasting outcomes at Roland Garros and Wimbledon, it is now to be seen who prevails at the US Open should the two make another summit clash.
It's time for us to now slip into a short break. After the break, all the details on how the pilots grouping ALPA India mulls legal course to be a part of Air India plane crash probe.
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार। विमल, बोलो जुबान केसरी।
MDH की हल्दी मिर्ची धनिया करे कमाल, ये रंग दे, ये खुशबू दे, ये तीखा, ये कम पड़े, क्या निराला MDH मसाला।
A storm is brewing at the heart of American law enforcement. FBI Director Kash Patel is reportedly on the verge of resigning, threatening to walk away from his post if his deputy, Dan Bongino, follows through on his own plans to quit. The reason? A fiery clash with Attorney General Pam Bondi over the handling of the Jeffrey Epstein case, a controversy that's ignited outrage among MAGA supporters and raised questions about transparency in the Trump administration. The Epstein saga has long haunted political and social circles, with its web of allegations involving powerful figures. President Donald Trump, seen here socializing with Epstein in 1992 at Mar-a-Lago, has faced scrutiny over their past friendship. Trump has since distanced himself, claiming in a recent cabinet meeting that he hadn't been close to Epstein for nearly 2 decades before his death.
Are you still talking about Jeffrey Epstein? This guy's been talked about for years. You're asking, we have Texas, we have this, we have all of the things.
Amity has been ranked India's #1 not-for-profit private university for 11th year, with top 10 ranked institutions in management, engineering, biotech, law, masscom, telecom, hospitality, fashion and more. Yet another top ranking for Amity University.
आधे बाउल दही में 4 चम्मच MDH चटनी पुदीना मसाला डाला, स्टर करो, पुदीना चटनी तैयार। MDH चटनी पुदीना मसाला। MDH।
महाराष्ट्राची माफी मागतो। मी छत्रपती शिवाजी महाराजांची माफी मागतो। महाराजांची माफी मागतो। बाळासाहेबांची माफी मागतो। उद्धव साहेबांची माफी मागतो। राज साहेबांची माफी मागतो।
इसको घर पे लगाओगे तो शादी का तो पता नहीं, पर घर पक्का नहीं टूटेगा।
रुंगटा नहीं तो घर स्ट्रॉन्ग नहीं। रुंगटा स्टील TMT बार एकदम सॉलिड।
पहाड़ों में एक हाइकिंग शिप भी बन सकती है।
ये है सीक्रेट रेसिपी MDH का जीरा सिप जल जीरा मसाला।
A storm is brewing at the heart of American law enforcement. FBI Director Kash Patel is reportedly on the verge of resigning, threatening to walk away from his post if his deputy, Dan Bongino, follows through on his own plans to quit. The reason? A fiery clash with Attorney General Pam Bondi over the handling of the Jeffrey Epstein case, a controversy that's ignited outrage among MAGA supporters and raised questions about transparency in the Trump administration. The Epstein saga has long haunted political and social circles, with its web of allegations involving powerful figures. President Donald Trump, seen here socializing with Epstein in 1992 at Mar-a-Lago, has faced scrutiny over their past friendship. Trump has since distanced himself, claiming in a recent cabinet meeting that he hadn't been close to Epstein for nearly 2 decades before his death.
Are you still talking about Jeffrey Epstein? This guy's been talked about for years. You're asking, we have Texas, we have this, we have all of the things. And
from Asia's largest news headquarters, setting the agenda for Bharat. You're watching Republic.
Very good morning. Welcome to Republic TV. This is live and breaking. I'm Aishwarya Kapoor with you. The top story of the day is Shubhanchu Shukla's homecoming. He is set to return to Earth and the entire country is waiting with bated breath. Let's also take a look at the other top stories that we are tracking in the headlines. India
आज का भारत स्पेस से महत्वाकांक्षी दिखता है। आज का भारत निडर दिखता है। आज का भारत कॉन्फिडेंट दिखता है। आज का भारत गर्व से पूर्ण दिखता है। और इन्हीं सब कारणों की वजह से मैं एक बार फिर से कह सकता हूँ कि आज का भारत अभी भी सारे जहां से अच्छा दिखता है।
India is still सारे जहां से अच्छा, says the Shubhanchu Shukla in the final message from space. Odisha government has formed a 3-member committee to investigate the Balasore student self-immolation case. Pilots grouping Alpa India merged legal course to be part of Air India plane crash probe. The body of 19-year-old student of Delhi University who was missing for the past 6 days has been found in Delhi, and the body was retrieved from the Yamuna River near Geeta Colony flyover in North Delhi. And slamming Russian President Vladimir Putin, US President Donald Trump says he'd end the Ukraine war in 24 hours, and his patience with Putin is wearing thin. All right, the top international focus right now. US President Donald Trump has slammed Russian President and he has said that he will end the war in Ukraine in 24 hours. So Donald Trump slamming Russian President Vladimir Putin, and he's saying that his patience with Putin is wearing thin. Remember, this coming as a Russia-Ukraine war continuing, and there have been no signs about the end of the war. Despite number of talks happening, there is no end to the war. And now, the U.S. President threatening Russian President Putin, saying that his patience with Putin is wearing thin. Let's listen in to what Donald Trump said.
But I am very disappointed with President Putin. You know, I thought he was somebody that meant what he said, and he'll talk so beautifully and then he'll bomb people at night. We don't like that. But I am very disappointed with President Putin. You know, I thought he was somebody that meant what he said, and he'll talk so beautifully and then he'll bomb people at night. We don't like that. But I am very disappointed with President Putin. You know, I thought he was somebody that meant what he said, and he'll talk so beautifully and then he'll bomb people at night. We don't like that.
All right, let's move on in the bulletin now and talk about the biggest top story that we are talking about, and that is the Indian Air Force Group Captain and astronaut Shubhanchu Shukla has said that his journey during the Axiom 4 mission, which is coming to an end, has been incredible, and credited the people involved in the mission for the same. While speaking to his countrymen in Hindi during his farewell speech, Shukla said that while his journey in the space is coming to an end, the journey of India's human space mission is still very long and difficult. All right, let's listen in to what Shubhanchu Shukla has said.
कुछ शब्द मेरे देशवासियों के लिए हिंदी में। कमाल की यात्रा रही है ये मेरी, लेकिन अब जैसे मेरी ये यात्रा ख़त्म होने वाली है, आपकी और मेरी यात्रा अभी बहुत लंबी है। हमारी ह्यूमन स्पेस मिशन की जो यात्रा है वो बहुत लंबी है और बहुत कठिन भी है, लेकिन मैं आपको विश्वास दिलाता हूँ कि अगर हम निश्चय कर लें तो तारा अभी प्राप्यन्ते, इवन स्टार्स आर अटेनेबल। 41 साल पहले कोई भारतीय अंतरिक्ष में गए थे और उन्होंने हमें बताया था कि ऊपर से भारत कैसा दिखता है, और कहीं ना कहीं मुझे लगता है कि हम सब ये जानना चाहते हैं कि आज भारत कैसा दिखता है। मैं आपको बताता हूँ, आज का भारत स्पेस से महत्वाकांक्षी दिखता है। आज का भारत निडर दिखता है। आज का भारत कॉन्फिडेंट दिखता है। आज का भारत गर्व से पूर्ण दिखता है। और इन्हीं सब कारणों की वजह से मैं एक बार फिर से कह सकता हूँ कि आज का भारत अभी भी सारे जहाँ से अच्छा दिखता है।
All right, let's get a perspective on this story, the Shubhanshu Shukla's homecoming. We have right now a guest joining us, Dr. Seshadri Rao Velanki, who's a former ISRO scientist. Thank you so much, sir, for joining us here on Republic TV. Sir, we'd like to know from you that while the country is waiting with bated breath and looking for the return of Shubhanshu Shukla, we'd like to know from you what are the really key challenges and milestones in Shukla's return journey from the ISS to Earth, especially when we talk about the re-entry and the splashdown.
Yeah, good morning to all of you. It is fantastic, and all the days went on well for Shubhanshu Shukla, and the intended activities were completed, and he is able to give the farewell message to everybody, and it is heartening. As far as the flight phases are concerned and departure to splashdown, we can divide them into 7 phases. The first one being departure from ISS, and then the second one being the phasing burns, and the third one is the module has got service modules, crew module and service module. The service module contained all the used up items which are to get separated before, let us say, bringing the module to splashdown. So it is called trunk jettisoning, that gets jettisoned. And then you have to reduce the velocity, that is called deorbit burn. And then afterwards there is a re-entry. For stabilization in re-entry, immediately after re-entry, the drogue parachutes, drogue parachutes will open up around 2.4 kilometers height and then bring up to 1.9 kilometers or so. And then later on, the main parachutes, 4 parachutes will come up and then splash down near, in the sea, near Mexico, Mexican Sea. And the velocity is reduced to almost 27 kilometers per hour when it is splashing down. These are the stages. The moment you look at the ground readiness is concerned, the weather conditions, there should not be any chance of lightning, no rain in the recovery zone, and the wind speeds in the recovery zone should be less than 16 kilometers per hour, and you need calm sea there. And as far as the astronauts are concerned, the recovery team, let us say, they get suited up, and that means they wear suits. The Dragon hatch is to be sealed, and then ISS hatch to be sealed, and then they wait for a go, let us say, for a detachment. These are the fundamental readiness activity. Once the go-ahead is given, in the departure from ISS, it is an involved activity because the undocking sequence command contains the power, telemetry, and command channels are deactivated. That means physically they are separated, and there are 12 hard capture hooks. Let us say they are to be lifted up. That means they are to get opened up in 2 phases. 6 hooks in one phase, 2 hooks and others 6 hooks in other phase. And there is a claw connecting the trunk and the capsule. This delivers the power, telemetry and fluids that will also get detached. And then all hooks, they see that they are opened, all 12 hooks. And then initiate to see that whether anything is still sticky through ISS.
Right.
They'll fire the, let's say, small thrusters for a short duration. And then slowly they separate it out. So that is the departure mechanism that is going to happen at 4:30 p.m. today.
All right. Thank you so much, sir, for joining us and giving us all the details on that. And of course, all eyes are on Group Captain Shubhanchu Shukla and his crew members as a countdown of their return begins. And also along with all the countrymen, of course, the Shukla's parents are really elated. Let's listen in to Group Captain Shukla's parents.
इससे ज़्यादा प्रसन्नता की बात हो क्या सकती है कि हमारा बेटा एक मिशन से वापस लौट रहा है, ऊपर से सफलतापूर्वक मिशन उसका कंप्लीट हो। बस यही दुआ कामना करते हैं कि किसी तरह से जल्दी से जल्दी वो आए और आकर हम लोगों से मिले, मुलाकात करें। प्रार्थना यही कर रहे हैं कि अब ऊपर से जैसे सकुशल पहुंच गए थे उसी तरह सकुशल धरती पर वापस आए। यही भगवान से, ईश्वर से मनाते हैं कि भगवान उनकी रक्षा करें, अच्छे से उनको वापस धरती पर आते समय कोई दिक्कत ना हो, किसी प्रकार की दिक्कत परेशानी न पैदा हो और जल्दी जल्दी आए नीचे, वापस आकर मिले हम लोगों से। हम तो बहुत उत्सुक हैं देखने के लिए उसका कि कैसा स्वास्थ्य रहा, कैसे रहे इतने दिन ऊपर, ये सब देखने के लिए बहुत उत्सुक है। अब डर तो थोड़ा बहुत मन में रहता ही, मगर ठीक है, बच्चे ने ये कदम उठाया है तो माँ भी उसी में शामिल, बच्चे के हर काम में माँ अपने आप शामिल हो जाती, जो जिसमें बच्चे की खुशी उसी में माँ भी खुश रहती है। तो इसलिए हमको कोई दिक्कत, कोई डर नहीं महसूस होता है।
जिसके लिए हम लोग गिनते दिन से इंतजार कर रहे थे, अब वो मतलब जो है वापसी हो रही है। हम लोगों को बहुत ही खुशी है और बहुत प्रसन्न है हम लोग कि जल्दी से जल्दी वो वापस आ गए। ये हम ईश्वर से मतलब प्रार्थना करते हैं कि उनको जो सकुशल जो है पृथ्वी पर आसानी से उनका जो है ड्रैगन मतलब वापस हो और ये हमारे लिए बड़ी खुशी का दिन हो।
क्या प्रार्थना कर रहे हैं? अब इतने जो दिन स्पेस स्टेशन में हो रहे हैं, अभी भी हैं, तो यहाँ से क्या प्रार्थना करते थे?
हम तो ईश्वर से यही प्रार्थना करते हैं कि उनका सकुशल मिशन पूरा हो और वो सकुशल वापसी उनकी हो। यही ईश्वर से हमेशा मतलब हर समय जो है उनसे प्रार्थना करते रहते हैं और हमारी तो ये और अपनी दुआएं भी उसको देते रहते हैं कि मतलब जो है कि तुम सकुशल वापस होगे, सब अच्छी तरह होगा।
आपकी बात उनसे हुई तो उन्होंने क्या बताया?
उस समय वो बिल्कुल ठीक थे, कोई दिक्कत नहीं थी। जब बात हुई थी तो बहुत प्रसन्नचित्त थे और सब बता रहे थे कि हमारा काम समय से हो रहा, जितने भी हमें वर्क दिए गए थे वो हमारे लगभग पूरे हो रहे हैं और हमारा काम समय से हो जाएगा, कोई दिक्कत नहीं होगी किसी प्रकार की। हम यहाँ बिल्कुल ठीक हैं, बहुत अच्छी तरह हैं और सभी कुछ उसमें, जैसे कि वहाँ लैब कैसी है, सोते कहाँ हैं, सूरज कैसे उगता है, ये सब कुछ उन्होंने जो है हमें दिखाया और बड़ा अच्छा लगा उनको वहाँ प्रसन्नचित्त हो देखकर। ये हमारे लिए बड़ी अच्छी सूचना थी कि मतलब जो है हम उनको देखकर बड़ा खुश हुए कि वहाँ ठीक ठाक है, सब कुछ है, अच्छी तरह है।
And now a look at the other big story that we are tracking. Nimisha Priya, an Indian nurse on death row in Yemen, now faces execution on 16th of July for the alleged 2018 murder of a Yemeni national. And Yemen's president had approved Nimisha's execution earlier this year, and now in a final effort to save her, Nimisha Priya's family has offered $1 million, which is approximately 8.6 crore rupees. This is as blood money to the victim's family under Yemen's Sharia law, which allows for the possibility of pardon in such cases. All right, let's get a perspective. We are right now joined in by Advocate Subhash Chandran, who is Nimisha Priya's lawyer in the case. Sir, thank you so much for joining us here on Republic TV. Sir, how do you look at the offer of blood money under the Sharia law? Do you think that is the only last resort that we have right now?
Yeah, good morning. And today is a very crucial day for Miss Nimisha Priya's family, friends, and the Save Nimisha Priya International Action Council, as the case filed by the Save Nimisha Priya International Action Council is considering today by the Honorable Supreme Court of India.
Yes.
So yes, we have offered a blood money to the Nimisha Priya, the victim's family by the Nimisha Priya as International Action Council, as well as the Nimisha Priya's family. But the family of the victim has not come to the negotiation table yet. They have not either accepted the offer or they have not denied the offer. So there are some grey areas in this matter. So it can be resolved only by the intervention of the Union of India. That's why we approached the Honorable Supreme Court, seeking some directions to the Union of India to facilitate the negotiation through the diplomatic channel, because there is a travel ban since 2016. This travel ban exists now, and there is no, in the last 9 years the Indian diasporas or Indian citizens are not there. So it's very difficult for us to lead the negotiations there. So the only one agency, the stakeholder, the major stakeholder who can lead this negotiation is the government of India only. So we are very clear. We said to government of India that we don't expect a single penny from Union of India or the government's exchequer. We are ready to raise the entire amount, whatever the victim's family demand. We are ready to raise that as crowd fund, and we are ready to pay it. But we are praying, we are seeking, we are humbly requesting the government of India's indulgence only to facilitate the negotiation, as there are some these logistical issues and the linguistic issues. So we hope the Honorable Supreme Court will understand our concerns, and the Honorable Supreme Court will direct certain directions to the Union of India today.
All right. Sir, beyond DIA, when we talk about the blood money, DIA, also the executive pardon, are there other legal options available as far as the Yemeni law is concerned? And is there any possibility of probably human rights organizations' pressure or by international organizations?
All the legal the options are exhausted in this case, because in 2020 the trial court, the Yemeni trial court has convicted Nimisha Priya for, sentenced Nimisha Priya for the death penalty. Thereafter we filed the first appellate court, we approached the first appellate court with an appeal, and that was dismissed by the first appellate court in 2022. Then thereafter we approached the Supreme Court of Yemen, that's Supreme Judicial Council, and the appeal before the Supreme Judicial Council was also dismissed by the Yemeni Supreme Judicial Council in 2023. So all the legal remedies are exhausted in this matter, and only the available remedy, that's according to Sharia law, the DIA is available, the blood money is available. So now we can explore that option only, and that can be done only through the consent of the victim's family. So we will have to bring them to the negotiation table, and we are trying to do that.
All right. Thank you so much, sir, for joining us here on Republic TV, and we wish you all the best for the hearing in the Supreme Court today. All right, let's get to some other news. The body of a 19-year-old student of Delhi University who was missing for the past 6 days has been found by the Delhi police, reported PTI, and her body was retrieved from the Yamuna River near the Gita Colony flyover in North Delhi on Sunday evening. And her family is alleging police inaction in the case. Remember, this is the case of a Delhi University student from Tripura who was missing for the last 6 days, and she is a student of Delhi University, and now her body has been found. It was retrieved from the Yamuna River near the Gita Colony flyover in North Delhi. Let's get all the updates. Our colleague Sambhavi is now joining us for more details. Sambhavi, what details do you have about the case? And as far as the finding of the body is concerned, what led police to look at that spot, and what are the details emerging? All right, we'll try to connect back with our reporter, but the details so far in the case is that this girl from Tripura, she was studying in Delhi University, and she was missing for the last 6 days. And her body has been found under the Delhi bridge. It was below the Gita Colony flyover. Her body was retrieved from the Yamuna River. And at the moment, what we do know is that the parents are alleging police inaction in the case, and the mystery about her missing and her body being found is right now deepening. So investigation is currently underway. She hailed from Sabroom in South Tripura, had come to Delhi for higher education. Sambhavi, our colleague, is now joining us. Sambhavi, what are the details emerging in the case now? Sambhavi, can you hear me?
Well, yes.
Yes,
as
please,
per the
go.
latest update, we know that...
Yes.
Yes. As per the latest update, we know that Sneha Devnath's body was found floating in Yamuna River under the Gita Colony bridge. And Sneha was reportedly a BSc student in Atmaram Sanatan Dharm College from Delhi University. And her last call was to her mother on 7th of July around 5:56 a.m. when she told her mother that she's going to drop a friend off to the railway station, but when her phone was found switched off around 2 hours later, the family grew concerned. In the latest update yesterday, her dead body was found. We are keeping close tabs on all the updates of the case, and we will keep bringing it to you as and when we receive it.
Some of you also understand that a post-mortem report is currently underway. The post-mortem is currently underway. And what is the police saying at the moment? Because a suspected suicide note apparently was also found at her residence, and now her body has been found. So any updates on police saying something about that?
Well, no, there hasn't been any update on that yet. Yes, the body was sent for post-mortem yet, and we are not able to access any post-mortem report yet. They haven't released anything.
All right. Thank you, Sambhavi, for all those details there. And viewers, now let's take a look at some other news from across the nation in Bharat in One.
Bharat 1 Minute brought to you by Canara Bank. Together we can.
Uttar Pradesh administration has deployed HD drones for surveillance along the Kamad Yatra routes. The live feed from the drone camera is being transmitted to the Integrated Command Control Center through Jatayu van and is also accessible on the mobile phones of the officials. The Ministry of Railways has announced that following the successful trial installation of CCTV cameras in passenger coaches, it will now install CCTV cameras in all coaches. In a statement, the ministry stated that the move will significantly enhance passenger safety. Severe waterlogging has been reported in several parts of Dholpur in Rajasthan following heavy rainfall. Other regions of the state have also experienced rain, prompting alerts from the Indian Meteorological Department. An orange alert has been issued for heavy rainfall in the Hadoi region, including Kota, Baran and Jhalawar. A yellow alert has been issued in 25 districts, including Jaipur, Sikar, Bharatpur, Ajmer, Pali and Udaipur. And now a very, very shocking incident that has come in from Bihar, where RJD leader and Bihar's leader of opposition, Tejashwi Yadav, has abused journalists during a press briefing in Patna. Ruining and running down the fourth pillar of democracy, Tejashwi Yadav, in fact, insulted the media, and he hurled the slur "Mutra" to describe the journalists. Take a look at this shocking report.
Bihar leader of the opposition Tejashwi Yadav talked himself into a controversy after he directed a filthy bar by journalists during a press briefing in Patna. Running down the fourth pillar of democracy, Tejashwi hurled the slur "Mutra" to describe journalists.
एक मिनट इसका चुनाव आयोग से कोई डॉक्यूमेंट या कोई प्रेस नोट या कोई ऐसी बात आई है या कि कहाँ से खबर आई? सोर्सेज बता रहे हैं, सूत्र बताते हैं, हम उस सूत्र को मूत्र समझते हैं। वेस्ट जो होता है ना, ये वो है, इसका कोई आधार नहीं ना। ये वही सूत्र है जो पाकिस्तान में कब्जा करवा दिया था, इस्लामाबाद, कराची। सूत्र नहीं, मूत्र लोग हैं।
The former Bihar Deputy Chief Minister stoked a massive row, saying sutra or source is mutra, as they sought to question the moral spine and integrity of journalists.
Make no mistake, this is clearly an attack on press and its dignity. Remember, we constitute the fourth estate and the fourth pillar of democracy, and for this kind of contempt and this kind of mindset, Tejashwi Yadav has revealed really from where he comes, and the manner in which he was speaking, the body language, the expressions, that clearly showed that he has utter contempt for media. He has absolute disrespect for the institution of press. Remember, sources are supposed to remain anonymous, and that's why, and that's how journalism flourishes. That's how we practice our craft, because otherwise everything else becomes PR and publicity. In this case, while Election Commission officially has not come out with a statement yet, because remember, the matter is sub judice.
Not stopping at this, the RJD leader also cast aspersions on the neutrality of the Election Commission, alleging that it was functioning as a cell of a particular political party. The EC officials, meanwhile, claimed that foreign nationals from Nepal, Bangladesh and Myanmar were found during the house-to-house visits for the ongoing role revision exercise ahead of the Bihar Assembly elections. Tejashwi, however, dismissed the poll panel's claims. Responding to Tejashwi's crass comment on media professionals, BJP leader Sanjay Jaiswal demanded that the former issue a public apology.
तेजस्वी जी के साथ सबसे बड़ा प्रॉब्लम यही है, 20 मिनट तक वह कागज पढ़ते रहे और तब तक वो ठीक थे, लेकिन पत्रकारों ने सवाल पूछा तो जिस प्रकार का उन्होंने पहले तो सूत्र के बारे में बोला और उसके बाद कह दिया कि प्रेस भी यही है। मीडिया कर्मियों के सामने और किसी के भी मनुष्य के बारे में इस तरह की टिप्पणियां करना केवल तेजस्वी यादव कर सकते हैं। तेजस्वी जी की दिक्कत यही है कि पढ़े लिखे नहीं होने के कारण जो घर पे 2-3 उनके लोग हैं वो जो रटवाते हैं, बताते हैं, वह जाके वह मंच पर बोल देते हैं, कहीं भी बोल देते हैं। उससे बाहर का अगर कोई प्रश्न आएगा आउट ऑफ सिलेबस तो वो ऐसा ही कचरा करेंगे। यह प्रेस का अपमान है।
Tejashwi's distasteful remark has raised a larger question on whether the opposition in Bihar has resorted to shooting the messenger amid the EC's ongoing purge of bogus voters.
Viewers, we are taking a very short break. Coming up ahead, Odisha government has formed a 3-member committee to investigate the Balasore students' attempted self-immolation case. Also coming up ahead, pilots grouping Alpha India is now mulling legal course to be made part of the Air India plane crash probe. Details on those big stories and much more after a short break.
Powered by Century Ply Club Prime. रहो बेफिक्र।
पैसा लगाना है तो सेंचुरी प्लाई क्लब प्राइम पे लगाओ। डूबेगा नहीं, जलेगा भी नहीं, कोई खा नहीं जाएगा, धोखा नहीं देगा, ऊपर नीचे भी नहीं होगा, सेफ रहेगा, सिक्योर्ड भी, मिनिमम 30 साल का रिटर्न देगा। अब इससे बेटर इन्वेस्टमेंट है तो बताओ। सेंचुरी प्लाई क्लब प्राइम, रहो बेफिक्र।
दादी के हाथों का जादू और खुशबू से महकता घर, माँ की मुस्कुराहट और खाने की सुगंध। MDH गरम मसाला,
क्योंकि हर रिश्ता है स्वाद से जुड़ा।
केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ रे, दिल झूमे देखो मतवारा हुआ रे। केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ।
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार। विमल, बोलो जुबान केसरी।
महाराष्ट्राची माफी मागतो. मी छत्रपती शिवाजी महाराजांची माफी मागतो. महाराजांची माफी मागतो. बाळासाहेबांची माफी मागतो. उद्धव साहेबांची माफी मागतो. राज साहेबांची माफी मागतो. गलती हो गया पुढे तो भाईचा बोला आवाज आवाज मग व्हिडिओमध्ये कसा आवाज व्हिडिओमध्ये कसा आवाज इथे बोल जोर से बोल रहा हूँ भैया लोग ऐसा मराठी लोग मराठी बोल महाराष्ट्र वाले मराठी लोग से हम बोल रहे हैं
The reason we've launched the Nationalist Collective is because we believe it is time now for a group of ideologically driven Indians to drive the destiny of our country. For far too long, people who have had interests inimical to national interest have held sway. We need to put nationalism first, nation first. The Nationalist Collective is a very clear and sharp movement, presents the spirit of a new India which stands by what is right, does what is right, and raises its voice for what is right. Remember, this country is safe only if it is in the hands of nationalists. This country will grow only if nation first becomes our principal motto, where the only ism that matters is nationalism. Join the Nationalist Collective. It is going to be the largest non-political movement in this country.
आज का भारत स्पेस से महत्वाकांक्षी दिखता है. आज का भारत निडर दिखता है. आज का भारत कॉन्फिडेंट दिखता है. आज का भारत गर्व से पूर्ण दिखता है. और इन्हीं सब कारणों की वजह से मैं एक बार फिर से कह सकता हूँ कि आज का भारत अभी भी सारे जहां से अच्छा दिखता है.
सारे जहां से अच्छा is Shubhanchu Shukla's message from the ISS. Today is his return journey. 2 p.m. is the time when the undocking begins. Odisha government forms a 3-member committee to investigate the Balasore student self-immolation case. Pilots grouping ALPA India mulls legal course to be a part of Air India plane crash probe. Body of a 19-year-old student of Delhi University who was missing for the past 6 days has been found in Delhi. The body was retrieved from the Yamuna River near Gita Colony flyover in North Delhi on the Sunday evening. Slamming Russian President Vladimir Putin, United States President Donald Trump said he'd end Ukraine war in 24 hours and his patience with Putin is wearing thin. And we start this edition with some breaking news coming in, and this is in regard with Karnataka, where there has been a major embarrassment for the Congress party. This after the Karnataka Congress Lingaraj Kani, a close aide of Minister Priyank Kharge and MLA Alam Prabhu Patil, has been arrested by the Maharashtra police in a drug trafficking case. Now, Kani, who is a Kalaburgi South Block Congress president, was nabbed in Thane city while allegedly selling narcotics. The police has seized 120 bottles of banned codeine syrup from his possession. A case has been registered under the NDPS Act at the Kalyan police station in Mumbai, and the further investigation in the case is underway. So that's the huge breaking news that we have coming in. A major embarrassment for the Congress party. This is Priyank Kharge, the Karnataka minister's close aide, who has been arrested by the Mumbai police in a drug trafficking case. He was found to have smuggled drugs. We learned that 120 bottles of banned codeine syrup was found from his possession. A case under the NDPS Act has already been registered against this aide of the Karnataka minister Priyank Kharge, and further investigation in the case is underway. Abhishek is joining us live from the Kannada newsroom. On that note, Abhishek, take us through what else has been found in the possession of this very close aide of the Karnataka Minister Priyank Kharge?
Tanisha, the accused Lingaraj Kanni is the block president in one of the major regions where Minister Priyank Kharge is representing, and also he is a close aide of Allam Prabhu Patil is also the MLA. So these people, especially I would name Asif, Tausif Asif is accused number 1 in this case, Lingaraj Kanni is accused number 2, and Syed Irfan is accused number 3, and these people have been taken into custody by the Mumbai's Bazarpet police because these people were found selling the substances which is related to narcotics, and the name of the drug should not be mentioned for various reasons. These people were in possession of 120 bottles or packets of the substance and they were trying to sell this in the market of Maharashtra is what the police have informed as of now. So this is surely a major setback to Minister Priyank Kharge as well as the Karnataka state government, because he was the block Congress president which represents Priyank Kharge's assembly. On the other hand, MLA Allama Prabhu Patil also is a very known person to the person Lingaraj Kanni. At this point of time, it is sure that the Congress would defend their person, and they would also make sure the other two people made sure that this person, especially Kanni, was not involved in this, and this is due to the political influence that Lingaraj Kanni has been taken into custody. We are waiting for a response from the government as of now with respect to what they have to talk about their block Congress president. Tanisha. Right, Abhishek, thank you very much for getting us those details. We quickly move forward to the other stories that we are tracking, and this one is from the state of Odisha. Now, in the latest update on the tragic self-immolation case in Odisha, the state government has formed a 3-member committee to investigate the incident. The student who set herself on fire on the college campus she said that she was allegedly harassed by her teacher, sexually harassed by her teacher. She remains in critical condition with nearly 95% burns. The committee will probe both the allegations of harassment and the delay in action by authorities that may have led to the extreme step. In fact, we are also getting in a reaction from the Chief Minister of Odisha, Manji. Let's listen into what he had to say.
सर एम्स में उनका ट्रीटमेंट हो रहा है, परिस्थिति बहुत क्रिटिकल है और एक मेडिकल टीम बनाते हुए सारी ट्रीटमेंट कर रहे हैं। दिल्ली का एम्स में जो ट्रीटमेंट हो रहा है, इसी आधार पर ही वहाँ भी ट्रीटमेंट हो रहा है। आज भी मैंने बोले कि दिल्ली का जो एम्स का जो डॉक्टर सीनियर है उनके साथ एक वर्चुअल मोड में मीटिंग करते हुए और क्या ज़्यादा ट्रीटमेंट किया जा सकता है उसी आधार पर करने के लिए मैंने वहाँ का टीम के साथ बातचीत कर लिया और अभी तक क्रिटिकल स्थिति है। अगले 24 घंटे के लिए वो बहुत क्रिटिकल मोमेंट है। जब कोई इम्प्रूव थोड़ा सा भी करेगा तो हम उसको एयरलिफ्ट भी करा सकते हैं दिल्ली एम्स के लिए।
Yeah, we received the patient yesterday and with a critical condition. Patient is in ICU and getting ICU care, and it is about 95% burn. And patient is in ICU with the ventilator. Patient critical. We are trying our best. We are providing all sort of best care, possible best care to the patient.
Sir, an expert committee has been formed.
Yeah, yes, a committee is constituted to take after various aspects, multidisciplinary critical care, pulmonary, nephrology, and also involving other burn and plastic. So a lot of people, all sort of treatment, special care we are giving for the patient. Yeah, we received the patient yesterday and with a critical condition. Patient is in ICU and getting ICU care, and it is about 95% burn. And patient is in ICU with the ventilator. Patient critical. We are trying our best. We are providing all sort of best care, possible best care to the patient.
Sir, an expert committee has been formed.
Yeah, yes, a committee is constituted to take after various aspects, multidisciplinary critical care, pulmonary, nephrology, and also involving other burn and plastic. So a lot of people, all sort of treatment, special care we are giving for the patient.
All right, we quickly move across to some other breaking news coming in, and this is from the state of Karnataka, where Union Minister Prahlad Joshi has hinted out at a horse trading process that is underway within the Congress party in the state of Karnataka. Remember, this comes amid the changes in and tussle amid the chief ministerial post in the state of Karnataka. It is Union Minister Prahlad Joshi that has gone ahead to say that there is horse trading that's happening within the Congress party. And remember, this comes in the heels of the tussle over the chief ministerial phase that's happening in the state of Karnataka. In fact, today we learn that there are back-to-back key meetings that will be held in Bengaluru as well. And with that, another breaking news that we have coming in is how the Congress is in complete firefighting mode, with Ranjit Surjewala all scheduled to hold key meetings today as far as the chief ministerial tussle is concerned in Karnataka. Surjewala will be in Bengaluru. He will be meeting the Congress MLAs. He will be meeting the other Congress leaders as well, and this is in regard with the power tussle that's there in Karnataka, a complete firefighting mode there that Randeep Surjewala is going through. Back-to-back huddles today in this state of Karnataka, Bengaluru to be specific. Remember, the key front runner is who's in the chief ministerial phase is the Karnataka Deputy Chief Minister D.K. Shivakumar. When asked D.K. Shivakumar about will there be a change in chief ministerial post, he said it's upon the Congress High Command. However, when spoken to Siddaramaiah, he seemed quite confident and he said that he is going to remain the Chief Minister for the next 5 years. So conviction there in Chief Minister Siddaramaiah's voice when it comes to the power tussle. D.K. Shivakumar, however, looking extremely unhappy there with the decision that the Congress High Command might have taken. Remember, there was a power sharing formula, the 50-50 formula that reports said that must have agreed upon as far as the tussle is concerned. However, Siddaramaiah had completely dismissed the power sharing formula, saying that no such formula has been discussed and that he will remain the Chief Minister for the next 5 years. Moving on to some other political stories that we are tracking. In a shocking incident, RJD leader and Bihar's leader of opposition Tejashwi Yadav abused journalists during press briefing in Patna, running down the fourth pillar of democracy. Tejashwi hurled the slur "mutra" to describe journalists. Take a look at this detailed report on how Tejashwi Yadav's comment has now created a huge political storm.
Bihar leader of the opposition Tejashwi Yadav talked himself into a controversy after he directed a filthy bar by journalists during a press briefing in Patna. Running down the fourth pillar of democracy, Tejashwi hurled the slur "mutra" to describe journalists.
एक मिनट इसका चुनाव आयोग से कोई डॉक्यूमेंट या कोई प्रेस नोट या कोई ऐसी बात आई है या कि कहाँ से खबर आई? सोर्सेज बता रहे हैं, सूत्र बताते हैं, हम उस सूत्र को मूत्र समझते हैं। वेस्ट जो होता है ना, ये वो है, इसका कोई आधार नहीं ना। ये वही सूत्र है जो पाकिस्तान में कब्जा करवा दिया था, इस्लामाबाद, कराची। सूत्र नहीं, मूत्र लोग हैं।
The former Bihar Deputy Chief Minister stoked a massive row, saying sutra or source is mutra, as he sought to question the moral spine and integrity of journalists.
Make no mistake, this is clearly an attack on press and its dignity. Remember, we constitute the fourth estate and the fourth pillar of democracy, and for this kind of contempt and this kind of mindset, Tejashwi Yadav has revealed really from where he comes, and the manner in which he was speaking, the body language, the expressions that clearly showed that he has utter contempt for media, he has absolute disrespect for the institution of press. Remember, sources are supposed to remain anonymous, and that's why, and that's how journalism flourishes. That's how we practice our craft, because otherwise everything else becomes PR and publicity. In this case, while Election Commission officially has not come out with a statement yet, because remember, the matter is sub judice.
Not stopping at this, the RJD leader also cast aspersions on the neutrality of the Election Commission, alleging that it was functioning as a cell of a particular political party. The EC officials, meanwhile, claimed that foreign nationals from Nepal, Bangladesh and Myanmar were found during the house-to-house visits for the ongoing role revision exercise ahead of the Bihar Assembly elections. Tejashwi, however, dismissed the poll panel's claims. Responding to Tejashwi's crass comment on media professionals, BJP leader Sanjay Jaiswal demanded that the former issue a public apology.
तेजस्वी जी के साथ सबसे बड़ा प्रॉब्लम यही है 20 मिनट तक वह कागज़ पढ़ते रहे और तब तक वो ठीक थे, लेकिन पत्रकारों ने सवाल पूछा तो जिस प्रकार का उन्होंने पहले तो सूत्र के बारे में बोला और उसके बाद कह दिया कि प्रेस भी यही है। मीडिया कर्मियों के सामने और किसी के भी मनुष्य के बारे में इस तरह की टिप्पणियां करना केवल तेजस्वी यादव कर सकते हैं। तेजस्वी जी की दिक्कत यही है कि पढ़े लिखे नहीं होने के कारण जो घर पे 2-3 उनके लोग हैं वो जो रटवाते हैं, बताते हैं, वह जाके वह मंच पर बोल देते हैं, कहीं भी बोल देते हैं। उससे बाहर का अगर कोई प्रश्न आएगा आउट ऑफ सिलेबस तो वो ऐसा ही कचरा करेंगे। यह प्रेस का अपमान है।
Tejashwi's distasteful remark has raised a larger question on whether the opposition in Bihar has resorted to shooting the messenger amid the EC's ongoing purge of bogus voters.
Countless Indians are looking to the skies today. This and sending up silent prayers for a safe and triumphant return as Group Captain Shubhanchu Shukla begins his journey back to Earth alongside his AX-4 crewmates. After spending 2 unforgettable weeks aboard the International Space Station, Group Captain Shubhanchu Shukla returns with a treasure trove of memories from his historic space flight and docking to the ISS to bonding with fellow astronauts over Gajar Ka Halwa and that unforgettable live interaction with the Prime Minister Narendra Modi from space. As we count down to the return of India's newest space hero, here's a special report that you need to look at.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, ignition and liftoff.
After 2 weeks of intense science experiments at the International Space Station, it is time for farewell and celebration for Group Captain Shubhanchu Shukla and 3 other astronauts from the Axiom-4 mission, who are all set to begin their return back to the Earth. As the Axiom-4 mission neared its conclusion, astronauts aboard the ISS gathered for a feast featuring a diverse menu representing the 6 nations involved in this mission. Currently, there are 11 astronauts on board the ISS, 7 from Expedition 73 and 4 from Axiom-4 commercial mission. While speaking at the formal farewell ceremony, Shukla hailed the progress of India and reiterated Rakesh Sharma's iconic words from 1984 Space Odyssey.
40 साल पहले कोई भारतीय अंतरिक्ष में गए थे और उन्होंने हमें बताया था कि ऊपर से भारत कैसा दिखता है और कहीं ना कहीं मुझे लगता है कि हम सब ये जानना चाहते हैं कि आज भारत कैसा दिखता है। मैं आपको बताता हूँ, आज का भारत स्पेस से महत्वाकांक्षी दिखता है। आज का भारत निडर दिखता है। आज का भारत कॉन्फिडेंट दिखता है। आज का भारत गर्व से पूर्ण दिखता है और इन्हीं सब कारणों की वजह से मैं एक बार फिर से कह सकता हूँ कि आज का भारत अभी भी सारे जहां से अच्छा दिखता है।
Shukla expressed a profound admiration for India and described Bharat to be ambitious, fearless and full of pride from the space.
I would like to take this opportunity to thank my country and all their citizens for supporting this mission and me with all their hearts. And I would like to thank ISRO for making this happen. All the colleagues at ISRO who have worked tirelessly in developing all the protocols, the science and the outreach activities, the researchers back in India, the students who developed the outreach items that I carried. I would also like to thank NASA and its international partners, Axiom Space, SpaceX, for ensuring that we were trained adequately well and providing all the support round the clock, and all the people who were sitting on ground supporting this mission, making it extremely successful.
Speaking about his time in orbit, Shukla described the journey as, quote, incredible and almost magical. He highlighted the mission's scientific achievements, outreach efforts, and the sense of wonder that comes from viewing the Earth from orbit, adding that he'll be carrying a lot of memories and learning from this Axiom 4 mission. As the Axiom 4 mission comes to a close, Shukla's heartfelt farewell from the International Space Station stands as a proud and emotional moment for India, a testament to its fearless scientific ambition and growing global stature in space.
A billion hearts across India and around the world are counting down a few anxious hours as Group Captain Shubhanchu Shukla prepares to return home today with his AX-4 crewmates, marking the end of a remarkable 15-day mission in space. Upon his return to the Earth, Group Captain Shukla will undergo a 7-day rehabilitation program, during which his health parameters will be closely monitored. Here's a report on his final leg of the journey.
From countdown to splashdown, India's space hero Shubhanchu Shukla is set to return to the Earth. This 18-day journey with 4 astronauts and many experiments is finally coming to an end. As per NASA, the Dragon spacecraft will not just return with 4 astronauts, but will also carry data from over 60 experiments conducted throughout this mission. As the SpaceX Dragon capsule prepares for re-entry into the orbit of Earth, Shubhanshu and his crewmates will face intense physical and environmental challenges. Strapped into the seats, they'll experience high G-forces as the capsule plunges through Earth's atmosphere at speeds exceeding 27,000 kilometers per hour. The re-entry process for Axiom 4 is meticulously orchestrated sequence. The Dragon capsule will undock from the ISS's Harmony module and perform a deorbit burn to slow its speed, allowing Earth's gravity to pull it back. As it re-enters the atmosphere, friction will create a plasma sheath. The spacecraft's heat shield will endure temperatures upwards of 2700 degrees, protecting the crew from the fiery descent and even temporarily cutting off communication with ground control. But the journey doesn't end with splashdown. After landing, the astronauts will undergo a crucial 7-day rehabilitation process. Astronauts face muscle atrophy, bone density loss after extended missions in space. Rehabilitation ensures that they regain their strength, balance, and mobility. It's a step-by-step process, and it begins with light physical therapy, aimed at easing the astronauts back into Earth's gravity. They'll focus on regaining muscle tone and flexibility. The future of space exploration has only just begun, and Shubhanshu Shukla's story is a beacon of hope for all who dare to dream.
It's time for us to now slip into a short break, but after the break we'll get you the details of how there has been a shocking case that has come to light from Odisha, where a college student has self-immolated herself. She has suffered 95% burns. All that and much more on that story coming up after the break. Also after the break are details of how Palace grouping ALPA India merged legal course to be a part of Air India plane crash probe.
Powered by Century Ply Club Prime. Raho befikar.
Amity has been ranked India's #1 not-for-profit private university for 11th year, with top 10 ranked institutions in management, engineering, biotech, law, mass comm, telecom, hospitality, fashion and more. Yet another top ranking for Amity University.
पैसा लगाना है तो सेंचुरी प्लाई क्लब प्राइम पे लगाओ, डूबेगा नहीं, जलेगा भी नहीं, कोई खा नहीं जाएगा, धोखा नहीं देगा, ऊपर नीचे भी नहीं होगा, सेफ रहेगा, सिक्योर्ड भी, मिनिमम 30 साल का रिटर्न देगा। अब इससे बेटर इन्वेस्टमेंट है तो बताओ। सेंचुरी प्लाई क्लब प्राइम, रहो बेफिक्र।
अब छोलिया हो या लोबिया, सफेद चने या काले चने,
सब कुछ मजेदार बने।
A storm is brewing at the heart of American law enforcement. FBI Director Kash Patel is reportedly on the verge of resigning, threatening to walk away from his post if his deputy, Dan Bongino, follows through on his own plans to quit. The reason? A fiery clash with Attorney General Pam Bondi over the handling of the Jeffrey Epstein case, a controversy that's ignited outrage among MAGA supporters and raised questions about transparency in the Trump administration. The Epstein saga has long haunted political and social circles, with its web of allegations involving powerful figures. President Donald Trump, seen here socializing with Epstein in 1992 at Mar-a-Lago.
All right, breaking news now coming in, and this is in regard with External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar's visit to China after 5 years, where we learn that he met the Chinese Vice President in Beijing today ahead of the SCO Foreign Ministers meeting. The External Affairs Minister of India, S. Jaishankar, said that India supports a successful Chinese presidency of the SCO. He noted that the bilateral ties have been steadily improving since the Modi-Xi meeting in Kazan last year. Jaishankar also said that the resumption of the Kailash Mansarovar Yatra was widely welcomed in India and stressed that the normalization of ties can lead to mutually beneficial outcomes with the world in complex situation. He underlined the importance of an open exchange between the two Asian neighbors. So a thought that we see coming as far as the India-China relations are concerned. There could be the normalization of the ties as far as India-China meeting in the SCO summit is concerned. Jaishankar there saying that he compliments the successful Chinese presidents of the SCO. It's time for us to now slip into a short break, but after the break are the details of how Delhi University student has been found dead in the Yamuna River. The probe is underway in the case.
Powered by Century Ply Club Prime. Raho befikar.
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार विमल, बोलो जुबान केसरी।
MDH की हल्दी मिर्ची धनिया करे कमाल, ये रंग दे, ये खुशबू दे, ये तीखा, ये कम पड़े, क्या निराला MDH मसाला।
महाराष्ट्राची माफी मागतो, मी छत्रपती शिवाजी महाराजांची माफी मागतो, महाराजांची माफी मागतो, बाळासाहेबांची माफी मागतो, उद्धव साहेबांची माफी मागतो, राज साहेबांची माफी मागतो, हो गया पुढे तो भाईचा बोला आवाज आवाज मग
इथे बोल, जोर से बोल रहा हूँ भैया लोग ऐसा। Powered by Century Ply Club Prime. Raho befikar.
पैसा लगाना है तो सेंचुरी प्लाई क्लब प्राइम पे लगाओ, डूबेगा नहीं, जलेगा भी नहीं, कोई खा नहीं जाएगा, धोखा नहीं देगा, ऊपर नीचे भी नहीं होगा, सेफ रहेगा, सिक्योर्ड भी, मिनिमम 30 साल का रिटर्न देगा। अब इससे बेटर इन्वेस्टमेंट है तो बताओ। सेंचुरी प्लाई क्लब प्राइम, रहो बेफिक्र।
MDH की देगी मिर्च,
देगी मिर्च का तड़का, अंग अंग फड़का।
MDH की देगी मिर्च।
A storm is brewing at the heart of American law enforcement. FBI Director Kash Patel is reportedly on the verge of resigning, threatening to walk away from his post if his deputy, Dan Bongino, follows through on his own plans to quit. The reason? A fiery clash with Attorney General Pam Bondi over the handling of the Jeffrey Epstein case, a controversy that's ignited outrage among MAGA supporters and raised questions about transparency in the Trump administration. The Epstein saga has long haunted political and social circles, with its web of allegations involving powerful figures. President Donald Trump, seen here socializing with Epstein in 1992 at Mar-a-Lago, has faced scrutiny over their past friendship. Trump has since distanced himself, claiming in a recent cabinet meeting that he hadn't been close to Epstein for nearly 2 decades before his death.
Are you still talking about Jeffrey Epstein? This guy's been talked about for years. You're asking, we have Texas, we have this, we have all of the things. And are people still talking about this guy, this creep? That is unbelievable. Do you want to waste the time, and do you feel like...
From Asia's largest news headquarters, setting the agenda for Bharat. You're watching Republic.
Very good morning. You're watching Live and Breaking on Republic TV. I'm Aishwarya Kapoor with you. The countdown to Shubhanchu Shukla's return from the International Space Station has begun as the undocking of the Axiom 4 mission with the ISS will take place today. That is the big story that we are tracking through the day today. Let's take a look at the other big stories as well in the headlines.
आज का भारत स्पेस से महत्वाकांक्षी दिखता है। आज का भारत निडर दिखता है। आज का भारत कॉन्फिडेंट दिखता है। आज का भारत गर्व से पूर्ण दिखता है। और इन्हीं सब कारणों की वजह से मैं एक बार फिर से कह सकता हूँ कि आज का भारत अभी भी सारे जहां से अच्छा दिखता है।
India is still सारे जहां से अच्छा, says Shubhanchu Shukla in his final message from the space. Odisha government has formed a 3-member committee to investigate the Balasore students' attempted self-immolation case. Pilots grouping Alpa India mulls legal course to be part of the Air India plane crash probe. Body of the 19-year-old student of Delhi University who was missing for the past 6 days has been found. Body retrieved from Yamuna River near Gita Colony flyover on Sunday evening. Amid fierce power tussle in Karnataka, Union Minister Prahlad Joshi alleges horse trading within Karnataka Congress. And slamming Russian President Putin, US President Donald Trump says he would end the Ukraine war in 24 hours. And his patience with Putin is wearing thin. The top story, well, it has been more than 15 days since Group Captain Shubhanchu Shukla, the first Indian astronaut to visit the International Space Station, left for Earth for a historic space mission. Now, the countdown to his return has begun. Group Captain Shubhanchu Shukla with his crew members will fly back to the Earth tomorrow. The Dragon spacecraft will undock from the ISS today and will splash down in the Pacific Ocean off the California coast tomorrow. Meanwhile, speaking to his countrymen in Hindi during his farewell speech, Shubhanchu Shukla said that while his journey in the space is coming to an end, the journey of India's human space mission is still very long and difficult ahead. Let's take a listen.
अब कुछ शब्द मेरे देशवासियों के लिए हिंदी में। कमाल की यात्रा रही है ये मेरी, लेकिन अब जैसे मेरी ये यात्रा ख़त्म होने वाली है, आपकी और मेरी यात्रा अभी बहुत लंबी है। हमारी ह्यूमन स्पेस मिशन की जो यात्रा है वो बहुत लंबी है और बहुत कठिन भी है, लेकिन मैं आपको विश्वास दिलाता हूँ कि अगर हम निश्चय कर लें तो तारा अभी प्राप्यन्ते, इवन स्टार्स आर अटेनेबल। 41 साल पहले कोई भारतीय अंतरिक्ष में गए थे और उन्होंने हमें बताया था कि ऊपर से भारत कैसा दिखता है, और कहीं ना कहीं मुझे लगता है कि हम सब ये जानना चाहते हैं कि आज भारत कैसा दिखता है। मैं आपको बताता हूँ, आज का भारत स्पेस से महत्वाकांक्षी दिखता है। आज का भारत निडर दिखता है। आज का भारत कॉन्फिडेंट दिखता है। आज का भारत गर्व से पूर्ण दिखता है। और इन्हीं सब कारणों की वजह से मैं एक बार फिर से कह सकता हूँ कि आज का भारत अभी भी सारे जहाँ से अच्छा दिखता है।
So the countdown of the return journey of Group Captain Shukla and his crew members has begun, and the entire countrymen, including of course Shukla's parents, are really elated. Let's listen in to Group Captain Shukla's parents.
इससे ज़्यादा प्रसन्नता की बात हो क्या सकती है कि हमारा बेटा एक मिशन से वापस लौट रहा है, ऊपर से सफलतापूर्वक मिशन उसका कंप्लीट हो। बस यही दुआ कामना करते हैं कि किसी तरह से जल्दी वो आए और आकर हम लोगों से मिले, मुलाकात करें। प्रार्थना यही कर रहे हैं कि अब ऊपर से जैसे सकुशल पहुंच गए थे उसी तरह सकुशल धरती पर वापस आए। यही भगवान से, ईश्वर से मनाते हैं कि भगवान उनकी रक्षा करें, अच्छे से उनको वापस धरती पर आते समय कोई दिक्कत ना हो, किसी प्रकार की दिक्कत परेशानी न पैदा हो, और जल्दी आए नीचे, वापस आकर मिले हम लोगों से। हम तो बहुत उत्सुक हैं देखने के लिए उसका कि कैसा स्वास्थ्य रहा, कैसे रहे इतने दिन ऊपर, ये सब देखने के लिए बहुत उत्सुक है। अब डर तो थोड़ा बहुत मन में रहता ही, मगर ठीक है, बच्चे ने ये कदम उठाया है तो माँ भी उसी में शामिल, बच्चे के हर काम में माँ अपने आप शामिल हो जाती, जो जिसमें बच्चे की खुशी उसी में माँ भी खुश रहती है। तो इसलिए हमको कोई दिक्कत, कोई डर नहीं महसूस होता है।
जिसके लिए हम लोग गिनते दिन से इंतजार कर रहे थे, अब वो मतलब जो है वापसी हो रही। हम लोगों को बहुत ही खुशी है और बहुत प्रसन्न है हम लोग कि जल्दी से जल्दी वो वापस आ गए। ये हम ईश्वर से मतलब प्रार्थना करते हैं कि उनको जो सकुशल जो है पृथ्वी पर आसानी से उनका जो है ड्रैगन मतलब वापस हो, और ये हमारे लिए बड़ी खुशी का दिन हो।
क्या प्रार्थना कर रहे हैं? अब इतने जो दिन स्पेस स्टेशन में हो रहे हैं, अभी भी हैं, तो यहाँ से क्या प्रार्थना करते थे?
हम तो ईश्वर से यही प्रार्थना करते हैं कि उनका सकुशल मिशन पूरा हो और वो सकुशल वापसी उनकी हो। यही ईश्वर से हमेशा मतलब हर समय जो है उनसे प्रार्थना करते रहते हैं, और हमारी तो ये और अपनी दुआएं भी उसको देते रहते हैं कि मतलब जो है कि तुम सकुशल वापस होगे, सब अच्छी तरह होगा।
आपकी बात उनसे हुई तो उन्होंने क्या बताया?
उस समय वो बिल्कुल ठीक थे, कोई दिक्कत नहीं थी। जब बात हुई थी तो बहुत प्रसन्नचित्त थे और सब बता रहे थे कि हमारा काम समय से हो रहा, जितने भी हमें वर्क दिए गए थे वो हमारे लगभग पूरे हो रहे हैं और हमारा काम समय से हो जाएगा, कोई दिक्कत नहीं होगी किसी प्रकार की। हम यहाँ बिल्कुल ठीक हैं, बहुत अच्छी तरह हैं, और सभी कुछ उसमें जैसे कि वहाँ लैब कैसी है, सोते कहाँ हैं, सूरज कैसे उगता है, ये सब कुछ उन्होंने जो है हमें दिखाया और बड़ा अच्छा लगा उनको वहाँ प्रसन्नचित्त हो देखकर। ये हमारे लिए बड़ी अच्छी सूचना थी कि मतलब जो है हम उनको देखकर बड़ा खुश हुए कि वहाँ ठीक ठाक है, सब कुछ है, अच्छी तरह है।
And viewers, we have big news coming in from the national capital, where the body of the 19-year-old student of Delhi University who was missing for the past 6 days has been found by the Delhi police. Her body was retrieved from the Yamuna River near the Geeta Colony flyover in North Delhi on Sunday evening, and she was missing for the last 6 days. Her family is now alleging police inaction in the case. Remember, this young student from Delhi University was missing for the last 6 days, and yesterday evening her body was retrieved by the Delhi police from the Yamuna River. All right, so the really we were updating you about the 19-year-old student of Delhi University. She hails from Tripura, and she was missing for the last 6 days, and her body has been now found in Yamuna River. Shambhavi, our colleague, is now joining us for more details. Shambhavi, what are the details emerging in the case? Sneha's body has been found. What are the updates? We understand that her body has been sent for the post-mortem. What is the police saying at the moment?
Well, yes, the body has been sent for post-mortem, and as per the latest update, a suicide note has been found in her old room, where it was very clearly mentioned by her that I don't want to continue living like this. I feel like a burden, I feel like a failure, and this is getting very unbearable. And in that note, reportedly, she said that she is planning to end her life by jumping off the signature bridge. And as per the police, with the help of some technical team, they have contacted the driver that dropped Sneha off to the signature bridge, and her last known location was also at the same bridge. Plus, there are also some witnesses who have reportedly seen a girl standing on the bridge and then later disappearing from the spot. So these three accounts are corroborating with the reports that this might be a suicide case.
All right. Thank you so much, Shambhavi, for all those details there. And viewers, now let's take a look at some more news from across the nation in Bharat in One.
Bharat 1 Minute brought to you by Canara Bank. Together we can.
Uttar Pradesh administration has deployed HD drones for surveillance along the Kanwar Yatra routes. The live feed from the drone cameras is being transmitted to the integrated command control center through Jatayu van and is also accessible on the mobile phones of the officials. The Ministry of Railways has announced that following the successful trial installation of CCTV cameras in passenger coaches, it will now install CCTV cameras in all coaches. In its statement, the ministry stated that the move will significantly enhance passenger safety. Severe waterlogging has been reported in several parts of Dholpur, Rajasthan following heavy rainfall. Other regions of the state have also experienced rain, prompting alerts from the India Meteorological Department. An orange alert has also been issued for heavy rainfall in Hadoti region, including Kota, Baran and Jhalawar. A yellow alert has been issued in 25 districts, including Jaipur, Sikar, Bharatpur, Ajmer, Pali and Udaipur. We have breaking news coming in at this moment. A bomb call has been received at a Navy school in Chanakyapuri in the national capital and a CRPF school in Dwarka in the national capital. Now, this bomb threat was received through mail. Delhi police is currently engaged in investigation. There is also a bomb disposal squad at the spot. Remember, earlier also bomb threats have been given through mail. However, so far, no suspicious material has been found. And this threat coming in for two schools in the national capital, one in Chanakyapuri, the other in Dwarka. And at the moment, the bomb disposal squad is at both the spots. And remember, these bomb calls coming in through mail. And Delhi police is currently engaged in investigation. Remember, this is a very, very important area, Chanakyapuri, because this is the diplomatic area. And let's get all the updates. Jatin, our colleague, is now joining us live from the national capital. Jatin, two schools in the national capital have received bomb threats. We understand there is a bomb disposal squad at both these places. What are the updates that you are getting in?
कुछ भी ऐसा सस्पिशियस इन दोनों स्कूलों में नहीं मिला है क्योंकि चाणक्यपुरी का नेवी स्कूल इसके अंदर बॉम्ब की जो मेल है वो साफ तौर पर मिली और द्वारका का सीआरपीएफ। अभी इन दो स्कूलों के बारे में जो जानकारी है वो हमें मिली है। दोनों ही जगहों पर पुलिस और बॉम्ब स्क्वाड मौके पर पहुंचा हुआ है। जो जानकारी जो चेकिंग है वो वहां पर संभवतः की जा रही है। लेकिन अभी तक दिल्ली पुलिस का कहना है कि मेल के जरिए जो थ्रेट मिला था वो सुबह के समय मिला था, जिसके बाद जब स्कूल ओपन हुए अथॉरिटीज ने उस मेल के बारे में देखा तो तुरंत जो पुलिस है और तमाम जो सिविक अथॉरिटीज है उनको इस बारे में जानकारी जो है वो दी गई है। सर्च ऑपरेशन दोनों ही जगहों पर चलाया जा रहा है। सीआरपीएफ स्कूल रोहिणी, आपको याद होगा, इससे पहले भी वहां पर इस तरीके से मेल किया गया था, लेकिन इस बार सीआरपीएफ स्कूल द्वारका का बताया जा रहा है, जहां पर बॉम्ब थ्रेट होने की जो जानकारी है वो साफ तौर पर मिली गई है। पुलिस का साफ तौर पर कहना है कि अभी पूरे स्कूल को सैनिटाइज किया जा रहा है, क्योंकि मामला स्कूल से जुड़ा हुआ है तो कोई भी लापरवाही इसको ना हो, इसलिए तमाम जो एसओपी है उनका पालन किया जा रहा है। दिल्ली पुलिस मौके पर है, एम्बुलेंस मौके पर है, फायर ब्रिगेड की मौके पर है और बॉम्ब स्क्वाड भी मौके पर पहुंची हुई है। तो संभवतः सभी पहलुओं पर चेक किया जा रहा है। हालांकि मेल किसने की उसको लेकर दिल्ली पुलिस का कहना है कि सबसे पहली प्रेफरेंस अब इसी बात को लेकर है कि दोनों ही स्कूलों को सैनिटाइज किया जाए। मल्टीपल चेक वहां पर किए जा रहे हैं, क्योंकि छोटे बच्चे जो स्कूल सुबह पहुंचे थे उनको वापस भेजने का जो प्रोसीजर है वो स्कूल अथॉरिटीज द्वारा किया गया। किसी तरीके की पैनिक ना फैले उसको लेकर ध्यान रखा जा रहा है। लेकिन अभी स्कूल को क्रॉस चेक और पूरे तरीके से सैनिटाइज किया गया है ताकि तमाम जो अथॉरिटीज है इस मामले को लेकर वेरीफाई फैक्ट्स कर सके। उसके बाद इन्वेस्टिगेशन संभवतः इस पूरे मामले में की जाएगी कि आखिरकार ये मेल किसके द्वारा भेजा गया। लेकिन फिर से अपने व्यूअर्स को बता देते हैं कि पैनिक की जरूरत नहीं है, कुछ भी सस्पिशियस अभी तक मिला नहीं है, लेकिन स्कूल से जुड़ा हुआ मामला है तो हर पैरामीटर्स पर जो तमाम सिक्योरिटी चेक्स है वो वहां पर किए जा रहे हैं। बैक टू स्टूडियो।
Alright, thank you so much for those updates there, Jatin. We'll keep coming back to you for that story. And viewers, we have big breaking news coming in from Karnataka. And that is senior Congress leader Randeep Surjewala is going to now hold one-on-one meetings with the ministers and Karnataka Congress MLA today in Bengaluru. Remember, these developments coming in even as the power tussle continues as DK Shivakumar, the Deputy Chief Minister, and Chief Minister Siddaramaiah. There are rumors of exchange of power, the change of powers, change of command. But amid these developments, senior Congress leader Randeep Surjewala is going to hold meetings with the Congress MLAs in Bengaluru today. However, both the Chief Minister and the Deputy Chief Minister have been insisting that there is going to be no change and both of them are on the same page as far as this issue is concerned. However, there are talks of dissent within the Congress party. Let's get all the updates. Abhishek, our colleague, is now joining us for more details. Abhishek, a very good morning. We heard earlier Prahlad Joshi had alleged there was this horse trading going on, use of money power, and now Surjewala is going to hold meetings with the Congress MLAs in Bengaluru today. A lot of talks of dissent within the party. What is happening?
Well, this is the third time that Randeep Singh Surjewala is coming back to Bengaluru to have a conversation with the MLAs and the ministers within the Congress party. As far as we have been informed, the entire Congress community isn't happy with their leaders or the ministers, and we have seen clear outrage on the ministers from some of the senior MLAs where they complain the ministers aren't giving a heed to the demands or the requests of senior most MLAs in the Congress party. On the other hand, we have also seen there is a tussle happening between DCM DK Shivakumar and CM Siddaramaiah because as per the AICC's directions or information which came in around 2.5 years ago, it was decided or pre-decided that DCM DK Shivakumar might be elevated to the post of Chief Minister in the month of November or December. That is exactly half after the 2.5 years of the term of Chief Minister. And now we've clearly seen that DCM DK Shivakumar had mentioned that he has no other choice other than supporting CM Siddaramaiah because this is what has been decided. CM Siddaramaiah has also claimed that he will be the full-time Chief Minister of Karnataka. On the other hand, we've also seen MLAs from the party claiming that DCM DK Shivakumar should be elevated, and they are not happy about the government itself. When these people have come out in the front of people and in front of media complaining that there are severe indifferences within the party, Randeep Singh Surjewala came into the state to the Karnataka Pradesh Congress Committee office to collect the opinion of at least 80 MLAs in the last 2 weeks, and today he has summoned at least 10 ministers from the government to collect their opinions as well, and their names have been kept a secret as of now, because he doesn't want the media to know what is happening within the Congress party. It is very sure that Randeep Singh Surjewala, when he's coming back to Bengaluru, it means that the party in the state of Karnataka is not up to the mark, and the High Command sees this as a threat to the next couple of elections, and this is why the Randeep Singh Surjewala's team is continuously coming to Bangalore to make sure the Karnataka Pradesh Congress committee comes back into the line.
Absolutely. Stay with us, Abhishek, because we are getting more breaking news coming in with the Congress MLA claiming that the BJP was planning to topple the government in Karnataka. He prepared a list of target of 55 legislators through central agency. Now, Union Minister Prahlad Joshi has hit back, and he has alleged that horse trading was on in the ruling party itself, that is the Congress party itself, amid Chief Minister change speculation. So both parties slamming each other and blaming each other for the power tussle within the Congress party. Let's go back to Abhishek. Abhishek, now, you know, of course, we do know that there is a huge dissent within the Congress party happening for a very, very long time now. And that has led to these rumors about the chief minister's position. But the Congress MLA now saying that it is the BJP that is doing the dirty work. And Prahlad Joshi again hitting back and saying that there is a horse trading happening within the Congress party itself. So definitely the power tussle is spilling through, and it has become a big issue here in Karnataka.
Well, Aishwarya, we've clearly seen that the Congress MLA Vijayanand Kashyap had mentioned that the BJP is trying to horse trade at least 55 MLAs from the Congress to make sure that this government is toppled and BJP to come into power. On the other hand, Prahlad Joshi, who's also the union minister, has mentioned openly, stating that the horse trading is happening within the Congress party itself, because the ruling is between Siddaramaiah and DK Shivkumar. The horse trading is happening between these two teams to show the High Command that either DCM DK Shivkumar is much more powerful than Siddaramaiah on one hand. On the other hand, CM Siddaramaiah's followers are trying to horse trade the members who are supporting DCM DK Shivkumar. So the internal horse trading is indirectly directed towards the BJP is what Prahlad Joshi has mentioned clearly as of now. So it is a backlash on the Congress government once again. Because the horse trading is not up to our mark is what Prahlad Joshi has mentioned. So we will have to see how Congress and the BJP leaders react on this horse trade issue as of now. On the other hand, we have clearly seen from the history of various other elections that DCM DK Shivkumar